Hello and welcome to No Code. So my name is Shubham, and in this particular video we are going to talk about Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. And by the end of this video you are going to understand what exactly RAG is, why it was built, and how it works under the hood. So if you have been building with LLMs and wanted one complete video that covers RAG from scratch, then this video is for you. Okay, so before we talk about what RAG is, I wanted to talk about the problem it was built to solve. Because once you understand the problem, then RAG makes complete sense. So imagine you have a powerful LLM like GPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever you want, and you started using it. And it is great. It answers questions well, it reasons well, and it writes well. But when you ask it about something that happened last month, then the answer will be, I have no idea. Or if you ask it about your company's internal documentation, then also it has no idea. And again, let's suppose you ask it a very specific question about your product, then either it makes something up or says, I don't know. And this happens because the LLMs have two fundamental limitations. The first is the knowledge cutoff. So every LLM is trained on data up to a certain point in time. And anything happened after that, the model simply doesn't know. And in a world where everything is changing every single day, then that is a very serious problem. Okay, let's move on to the second limitation. So the second limitation is the private data. So your company's internal documentation, your database, your product documentation, none of that was in the LLM's training data. And the model has never seen it. So it is quite simple that the model will not be able to answer questions about it. Now you can just ask me, Shubham, why not just pull all that information into the prompt while asking question? Just paste your entire knowledge base into the context window and let the model use it. So you guys can ask this question from me, right? But the answer is very simple, that context windows have limit. So you cannot paste a 1000-page document into a prompt. And even if you could, then it would be incredibly expensive and slow. So you need a smarter way to give the LLMs the right information at the right time. So you need to provide only the relevant parts, only what it actually needs to answer. And that is exactly what RAG does. So we understood the problem. Now let's understand what actually RAG is. So in simple words, RAG is a technique that gives your LLM access to external knowledge by retrieving the most relevant information at query time and injecting it into the prompt. So instead of the LLM relying only on what it learned during the training, it can now pull in fresh, relevant, up-to-date information every single time when someone asks a question. So this is the concept of the RAG, and if you want to understand this with an example, then let's take an example. So imagine you are taking an open book exam. So without RAG, you have to answer every question purely from your memory. And with RAG, you have your textbook in front of you, so you look up the relevant section, read it, and then write your answer. And this is not guessing. You are just answering from the actual information. And that is exactly how RAG system actually works. So here the LLM is the student, your knowledge base is the textbook, and RAG is the system that finds the right page at the right time. Now how does RAG actually works? And before we go step by step, let me give you a quick high-level picture of how RAG works so everything makes sense when we go deeper. So the RAG works in two phases. So the first phase is indexing. So you take all your documents, break them into smaller chunks, and convert each chunk into a vector using an embedding model and store everything in a vector database. And this happens once before any user asks a question. Now the second phase is the retrieval and generation. So when a user asks a question, you convert that question into a vector, then find the most relevant chunks from your vector database and inject them into the prompt. And then the LLM answers from the retrieved information, not from the memory, but from the actual documents. And finally, we can say indexing builds the library, whereas retrieval and generation finds the right page and the right answer for the questions. Now let's go deeper into each phase. So RAG has two main phases, the indexing phase and the retrieval and generation phase. So let's start with indexing because this is the foundation everything else is built on. So before your RAG systems can retrieve anything, it needs to process and store your documents in a way that makes retrieval fast and accurate. So the first phase is document loading. So you take all your source documents like PDFs, Word files, web pages, database records, whatever your knowledge base is made of, and you load them into your pipeline. And the second step is chunking, and this is a very important step as well because you cannot store 100-page document as a one single piece. And if you do, then if someone asks a question, then your system will try to match that question against entire 100 pages as one block, and the match will be terrible and retrieval will be useless. So instead you break down your document into smaller chunk. Each chunk is a small meaningful piece of text. It can be a paragraph or maybe a few sentences. So the goal is that each chunk should contain one complete idea, not too large that it carries irrelevant information and not too small that it loses context. And the chunk size is something you have to tune for your specific use case. So there is no universal answer for this because it totally depends on your document, your queries, and your retrieval strategy. Then the third step is embedding. So each chunk gets converted into a vector, which is a list of numbers that captures semantic meaning of that text. And this is done by an embedding model. So the key insight here is chunk with similar meaning ends up with similar vector. So if your chunk says the car engine produces 300 horsepower and someone asks how powerful is the engine, then those two pieces of text will have similar vectors even though the words are different. Now let's talk about the final step of this phase, which is storing these vectors in a vector database. So a vector database is made to store embeddings and run fast similarity search across millions of them. So each chunk's vector gets stored alongside the original text so you can retrieve both the vector for matching and the text for injecting into the prompt. So that is all about the indexing phase, and you have to do this once or whenever the documents are updated. Now your knowledge base is ready to search. Now let's move on to the next phase, which is retrieval and generation. And in this phase, we are going to talk about what happens when a user actually asks a question. So the first step in the second phase is the query embedding. So when a user asks a question, then the question gets converted into an embedding using the same embedding model you used for your documents. And this is important because it has to be same model so the vector space is consistent. Then the second step is similarity search. So after the query gets converted into embeddings, then your system takes that query vector and runs it against all the document vectors in your vector database. And then it finds the chunks whose vectors are closest in meaning to the query vector. So this process of finding the relevant vector is called the similarity search. And this is how your system finds relevant information even when the exact word doesn't match. Now the third step is retrieval. So after performing similarity search, the top matching chunks we get from the database are usually somewhere between 3 and 10 depending on the setup, get retrieved from the vector database along with their original text. And then we move on to the next step, which is prompt construction. So these retrieved chunks get injected into the prompt alongside the user's original question. Something like, here is the relevant context, here is the question. Now answer using only this context. And at the end, the final step comes in, which is generation. So the LLM reads the prompt with the injected context and generate an answer grounded in the retrieved information. And this answer is not from the memory or not from the training data, but from the actual relevant chunks you just gave it. So that is the complete RAG pipeline. Load, chunk, embed, store, retrieve, inject, and generate. Alright, so I think we have a good idea about RAG now. So let's revise everything from the beginning. Alright, so we'll start with the problem, okay? So RAG was created because LLM have a knowledge cutoff and have no access to private data. And RAG fixes this by retrieving the most relevant information at query time and injecting it into the prompt. Next is pipeline. So pipeline has two phases. First is indexing. So indexing is where you load your document, chunk them, embed them, and store the vectors in a vector database. And the second phase is the retrieval and generation. So this is where you embed the query, run similarity search, retrieve relevant chunks, and inject them into prompt and let the LLM generate a grounded answer. Alright, so I think that's pretty much about RAG. And if you like this video, do comment, like, and share this channel to watch more videos like this. And my next video will probably on vector database or embeddings or something I'll think about, or maybe I'll implement RAG or MCP. So let's just see what I make. Okay, bye bye. Take care.